This is Sartor Resartus by Thomas Carlyle, and this is Chapter 8, The World Out of Clothes. If in the descriptive historical portion of this volume, Teufelsdrockh, discussing merely the Werden, origin and successive improvement, of clothes, has astonished many a reader, much more will he in the speculative philosophical portion, which treats of their Wirken, or influences. It is here that the present editor feels the pressure of his task, for here properly the higher and new philosophy of clothes commences, all untried, almost inconceivable region, or chaos, in venturing upon which, how difficult, yet how unspeakably important is it to know what course of survey and conquest is its true one. Where the footing is firm and firm substance and will bear us, where it is hollow or mere cloud and may engulf us, Teufelsdrockh undertakes no less than to expound the moral, political, even religious influences of clothes. He undertakes to make manifest, in its thousandfold bearings, this grand proposition that man's earthly interests are all hooked and buttoned together, held up by clothes. He says in so many words, society is founded upon cloth. And again, society sails through the infinitude on cloth, as on Faust's mantle, or rather like the sheet of clean and unclean beasts in the Apostle's dream, and without such sheet or mantle would sink into the endless depths, or mount to inane limbos, and in either case be no more. By what chains, or indeed infinitely complected tissues of meditation this grand theorem is here unfolded, and innumerably practical corollaries are drawn therefrom, it was perhaps a mad ambition to attempt exhibiting. Our professor's method is not, in any case, that of common school logic, where the truths all stand in a row, each holding the skirts of the other, but at best that of practical reasons proceeding by large intuition over the whole systematic groups and kingdoms, whereby, we might say, a noble complexity, almost like that of nature, reigns his philosophy, or spiritual picture of nature, a mighty maze, yet, as faith whispers, not without a plan. Nay, we complained above that a certain ignoble complexity, what we must all call mere confusion, was also discernible. Often, also, we have to exclaim, would to heaven those same biographical documents were come, for it seems as if that the demonstration lay much in the author's individuality, as if it were not argument that had taught him, but experience. At present, it is only in local glimpses and by significant fragments picked often at wide enough intervals from the original volume and carefully collated that we can hope to impart some outline or foreshadow of this doctrine. Readers of any intelligence are once more invited to favor us with their most concentrated attention. Let these, after intense consideration, and not till then, pronounce whether on the utmost verge of our actual horizon there is not a looming as of land, a promise of new fortunate islands, perhaps hold undiscovered Americas, for such as have canvassed sailed to for such as have canvassed to sail thither. As exordium to the whole, stand here the following long citation. With men of speculative turn, writes Teufelsdrockh, there come seasons, meditative, sweet, yet awful hours, when in wonder and fear you ask yourself that unanswerable question. Who am I? The thing that can say I, das Wesen, das ich nicht? The world with its loud trafficking retires into the distance, and through the paper hangings and stone walls and thick-piled tissues of commerce and polity, and all the living and lifeless integuments of society and of body, wherewith your existence sits surrounded, the sight reaches forth into the void deep, and you are alone with the universe and silently commune with it, as one mysterious presence with another. Who am I? What is this me? A voice, a motion, an appearance, some embodied, visualized idea in the eternal mind? Cogito ergo sum. Alas, poor cogitator. Latin joke. This takes us but little way. Sure enough I am, and lately was not. But whence? How? Where to? The answer lies around, written in all colors and motions, uttered in all tones of jubilee and wail, in thousand-figured, thousand-voiced, harmonious nature. But where is the cutting eye and ear to whom that God-written apocalypse will yield articulate meaning? We sit as in boundless phantasmagoria and dream grotto, boundless, for the faintest star, the remotest century, lies not even nearer the verge thereof. Sounds and many-colored visions flit around our sense. But him, the unslumbering, whose work both dream and dreamer are, we see not, except in rare half-waking moments, suspect not. Creation, says one, lies before us like a glorious rainbow, but the sun that made it lies behind us, hidden from us. Then, in that strange dream, how we clutch at shadows as if they were substances, and sleep deepest while fancying ourselves most awake. Which of your philosophical systems is other than a dream theorem, a net quotient confidently given out, whether divisor and dividend are both unknown? Oh, sorry. What are all your national wars, with their Moscow retreats and sanguinary, hate-filled revolutions, but the somnambulism of uneasy sleepers? This dreaming, this somnambulism, is what we on earth call life, wherein the most indeed undoubtingly wander, as if they knew right hand from left, yet they only are wise who know that they know nothing. Pity that all metaphysics had hitherto proved so inexpressibly unproductive. The secret of man's being is still like the Sphinx's secret, a riddle that he cannot read, and for ignorance of which he suffers death, the worst death, a spiritual. What are your axioms and categories and systems and aphorisms? Words, words. High air castles are cunningly built of words, the words well bedded also in good logic mortar, wherein, however, no knowledge will come to lodge. The whole is greater than the part. How exceedingly true! Nature abhors a vacuum. How exceedingly false and calumnious. Again, nothing can act but where it is. With all my heart, only where is it? Be not the slave of words. Is not the distant, the dead, while I love it, and long for it, and mourn for it, here, in the genuine sense, as truly as the floor I stand on? But that same where, with its brother when, are from the first master colors of our dream grotto. Say rather the canvas, the warp and woof thereof, whereon all our dreams and life visions are painted. Nevertheless, has not a deeper meditation taught certain of every climate and age, that the where and when, so mysteriously inseparable from all our thoughts, are but superficial terrestrial adhesions to thought, and that the seer may discern them when they are mount up out of the celestial everywhere and forever? Have not all nations conceived their God as omnipresent and eternal, as existing in a universal here and everlasting now? Think well, thou too wilt find that space is but a mode of human sense. So likewise time. There is no space and no time. We are, we know what, not what. Light sparkles floating in the ether of deity. So that this so solid seeming world, after all, were but an air image, our me the only reality, and nature, with its thousandfold production and destruction, but the reflex of our own inward force, the fantasy of our dream, or what the earth spirit Faust names it, the living, visible garment of God. This is a quote. In being's floods, in action's storm, I walk and work, above, beneath. Work and weave in endless motion, birth and death, an infinite ocean, a seizing and giving, the fire of living. 'Tis thus at the roaring loom of time I ply, and weave for God the garment thou seest him by. End quote. Of 20 millions that have read and spouted this thunder speech of the Erdgeist, are there yet 20 units of us that have learned the meaning thereof? It was in some such mood, when wearied and fordone with these high speculations, that I first came upon the question of clothes. Strange enough, it strikes me, is the same fact of their being tailors and the tailored. The horse I ride has his own whole fell. Strip him of the girths and flaps and extraneous tags I have fastened around him, and the noble creature is his own sempster and weaver and spinner, nay, his own bootmaker, jeweler, and man-milliner. He bounds free through the valleys with a perennial rain-proof court suit on his body, wherein warmth and easiness of fit have reached perfection. Nay, the graces also have considered, and frills and fringes, with gay variety of color, featly appended, and ever in the right place, are not wanting. While I, good heaven, have thatched myself over with the dead fleeces of sheep, the bark of vegetables, the entrails of worms, the hides of oxen or seals, the felt of furred beasts, and walk abroad a moving rag screen, overheaped with shreds and tatters raked from the charnel house of nature, where they would have rotted or to rot on me more slowly. Day after day I must thatch myself anew, and day after day this despicable thatch must lose some film of its thickness, some film of it frayed away by tear and wear must be brushed off into the ash pit, into the lay stall. till by degrees the whole has been brushed thither, and I, dust-making, patent rat-grinder, get new material to grind down. O suter brutish, vile, most vile, for have not I too a compact all-enclosing skin, whiter or dingier? Am I a botched mass of tailors and cobblers' shreds, then, or a tightly articulated, homogeneous little figure, automatic, nay, alive? Strange enough how creatures of the human kind shut their eyes to the plainest facts, and by the mere inertia of oblivion and stupidity live at ease in the midst of wonders and terrors. But indeed man is, and was always, a blockhead and dullard, much readier to feel and digest than to think and consider. Prejudice, which he pretends to hate, is his absolute lawgiver. Mere use and wont everywhere leads him by the nose. Thus let but a rising of the sun, let but a creation of the world happen twice, and it ceases to be marvelous, to be noteworthy, or noticeable. Perhaps not once in a lifetime does it occur to your ordinary biped of any country or generation, be he gold-mantled prince or russet-jerkined peasant, that his vestments and his self are not one and indivisible, that he is naked without vestments, till he buy or steal such, and by forethought sew and button them. For my own part, these considerations of our clothes thatch, and how, reaching inwards, even to our heart of hearts, it tailorizes and demoralizes us, fill me with a certain horror at myself and mankind, almost as one feels at those Dutch cows, which during the wet season you see grazing deliberately with jackets and petticoats of striped sacking in meadows of Gouda. Nevertheless, there is something great in the moment where a man first strips himself of adventitious wrappage, and sees, indeed, that he is naked, and as Swift has it, a forked straddling animal with bandy legs, yet also a spirit, and an unutterable mystery of mysteries. Damn! That's what I'm talking about.